Shabbat Shalom Mishpacha. First of all, we'd like to give a prayer, petition, and give thanks to God. For that, I shall start with Psalm 3. Yud-He-Vah-He, how are the increase that trouble me? Many are there that rise up against me. May they be which say of my soul, there is no help from him in Elohim, Selah. But you, O Yud-He-Vah-He, are a shield for me, my glory, and the lifter up of my head. I cried to Yud-He-Vah-He with my voice, and he heard me out of his holy mountain. Selah, I laid me down and slept. I awakened, for Yud-He-Vah-He has sustained me. I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people, 10 that they have set themselves against me round about. Arise, O Yud-He-Vah-He, rescue me, O my power, for you have struck all my enemies upon the cheekbone. You have broken the teeth of the wicked. Rescue belongs to Yud-He-Vah-He. Your blessing is upon your people. Selah. Okay, next we'll go to Psalm 8. O Yud-He-Vah-He, our Master, how excellent is your name in all the earth. You who have set your glory above the Shemaim. Out of the mouth of babies and infants you have founded strength because of your enemies, that you might silence the enemy and the avenger. When I consider your Shemaim, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have established, what is man, that you are mindful of him, Son of man, that you visit him? For you have made him a little lower than the powers, and have crowned him with glory and respect. You have made him to have dominion over the works of your hands. You have put all things under his feet, all sheep and oxen, yes, and the beasts of the field, the fowl of the air, and the fish of the sea, and whatsoever passes through the paths of the seas. O Yud-He-Vah-He, our Master, how excellent is your name in all the earth. Okay, next we'll go to Psalm 117. Let me pull it up. It's a small one, but it is a very good one to say in your prayers. Yeah, right at the other end. Okay, here we are. Oh, praise Yud-He-Vah-He, all your nations, praise him, all you people, for his merciful kindness is great towards us, and the truth of Yud-He-Vah-He endures forever. Praise Yah. Okay, and we'll go back to, in fact, we'll go forward to one more psalm reading. We'll read from Psalm 119. Our reading is going to be Kuf. I cried with my whole heart, hear me, O Yud-He-Vah-He, I will keep your statutes. I cried to you, rescue me, and I shall keep your testimonies. I rise before the dawning of the morning and cried, I hoped in your word. My eyes are awake through the night watches that are made, that I might meditate in your word. Hear my voice according to your loving kindness. O Yud-He-Vah-He, revive me according to your judgment. They draw near that follow after mischief. They are far from your Torah. You are near, O Yud-He-Vah-He, and all your commandments are truth. Concerning your testimonies, I have known of ancient times that you have founded them forever. Baruch Hashem. Father, we thank you. We give you glory. We give you honor. We thank you for this past week, for our goings and for our comings, for our food and for our shelter, for our blessings and for the things that you have sent us as trials and tests. We thank you, Father, that you build us just as gold needs to be refined in fire. So you refine your people as well through fire. And we give thanks, we give glory, we give honor. And we pray for our people, Israel, that you will bless them, you'll keep them safe wherever they are, and you will restore us back to yourself in the land. Baruch Hashem, may your name be glorified forever and forever. Amen. Amen. Okay, so lots going on this week. I guess the main thing in the nations that I wanted to talk about was in the nation of America, U.S., where we are. We had an interest rate decision yesterday, and the interest rates did not go up. It was abstained, but I think the markets had a little knock. I guess it was for the reasons concerned that people were fearing, traders were fearing that the Fed had said that they might put 2 more interest rates up down the road to 0.25% rises. So that kind of put a knock on the market. Gold fell heavily, and the U.S. indexes fell as well. Dow Jones fell quite a bit, and that's how it goes. But having said that, one day later, the index actually went up 400 points. So there you have it. Index goes down and index goes up. What goes down must come up. What goes up must come down. Gold went down and then gold went up the next very day. So it's not like it's going to remain down. And it will probably go down again, and then come up again. So it's like a cycle. It continues in that cycle. And that's how traders use it to go long and they go short. Just as things in our life might be, looking up, then suddenly problems come and we deal with the problems, life goes down a little bit, and then things look up again and our life goes back up, Baruch Hashem. So all these trials and tests are for us to learn. Now, on the economic and on the world stage, I guess right now, as you can see, there's a lot of things going on. I think North Korea fired a missile, and U.S. put more sanctions on them. And then there's other things going on around the world. But mainly, the next day, Thursday, the EU, European Union, put the interest rates up. They did not abstain. They put 0.25% up, and that caused the euro to rise against the yen. Probably I'd say all-time highs. Yeah, all-time highs for the euro against the yen. I think the euro hit quite a bit. I believe in the British pound. British pound rose up quite a bit, and British pound actually broke its recent highs. The British pound actually went at 127, and it hadn't breached the levels of 126 something, but it breached those levels and went higher, 127 and above it. So it did breach. I think British pound is looking to roll down to 130, and looks like to me that on the yen front, my goodness, British pound yen, it went up quite a bit, and my goodness, I'd have to look it up to tell you, but the yen against the British pound was quite a serious contender. I believe it was, like I said, I'd have to look it up, and I believe, was it 100 and give me a moment. I'll actually will look it up just to give you an idea and why it goes up. So give you an idea of that as well. Why does the yen go up, or the British pound versus yen, or European Union dollar, euro dollar versus yen? Why does it go up? And the reason is this, that let me first give you the price. So the British pound is like 179, a little bit above, a few points. 179 to the yen, and a little bit more. Now the reason why the yen, right now, is because of the British pound is bullish. That's why. Secondly, when the yen becomes stronger, it will go lower. It means you'll get less yen against the British pound and the euro and the dollar, etc. The reason why it goes up, or goes down rather, is when people are afraid. Okay, when people have fear, they put more money into the yen. Then the yen becomes stronger. Right now, the people are in what I call greed mode. They are in greed mode because there's an index that the CNN publishes, some kind of business index, and the business index tells you if the people are in fear, neutral, greed, or extreme fear. And I believe that index was, or at least I believe it's running at, again I'd have to check it to give you the exact where it is right now, and I guess I could check it, but I believe a few days ago it was at extreme greed, and yeah, still the same, extreme greed. So the index is running at extreme greed. So whenever the index runs at extreme greed, the stock markets are rallying up, indexes are going high. That's what basically it describes. But what happens whenever they go high like that, they always have a pullback. It means, that's actually not a bad index to look at. If you look at that index, and if you find that it says extreme greed or extreme fear, that is a place where you want to sell. At extreme greed, you want to be a seller of the index. At extreme fear, you want to be a buyer of the index. Means that you should buy stocks at extreme fear and you should sell at extreme greed. Why? Because that's where you will make good money as you go the opposite direction to the herd mentality. Herd mentality is, leave, run, go, etc. And you do the opposite. You do well. So that's that. But Korah, now the Parsha, chapter 16. Now Korah, the son of Yishari, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan and Aviram, the son of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses, certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown, and they gathered themselves together against Moshe and against Aaron, and said to them, "You have taken too much upon yourselves. All the congregation are holy, every one of them, and Yud-Heh-Wah is among them. Wherefore, then you lift yourselves up above the congregation of Yud-Heh-Wah." And when Moshe heard it, he fell upon his face. Okay, so basically, brief stories here is this. These men, they aligned themselves with another Levi, who was Korah, and they set themselves against the prophet Moses and against Aaron the high priest. They had jealousies, they had problems, they had, musings, and they were backbiting and tail-bearing, and so they didn't like Moses being in charge, and they definitely didn't like Aaron being the high priest. Korah thought, well, why can't I be the high priest? Because he's a Levi as well. He's like, why can't I be the high priest? Why does it have to be Moses' brother? He said, it looks like Moses favored his brother because of blood relationship. So he was jealous. He gathered other renowned men of the society, and he set themselves against Moses. Moses then went before God and said, well, this is what's going on. What do we do? And so God said, bring all these men to the tent of meetings, to the holy place, and I shall deal with them. And so what God did is God opened because Moses himself had said that if I am a liar, if I am wrong, then let a big hole open up in the ground like a pothole, and I fall in it, and otherwise they all fall in it. So guess what happened? A big pothole opened up, and they went before God, and they all fell in it. Other than, of course, we are told that the Korah sons did not fall in there because they repented. So that's basically the story. Moral of the story is this, that you listen to your leadership. The moral is simple. Don't be so quick to judge your leaders, and don't be so rash. Be patient, wait, take things slowly. Of course, if you have issues, problems, deal with them privately, and God will reward you for that. That's basically the message here. And the message is that when God has put people in charge, God knows why He's put certain people in charge and not others, because God can see to the end. He can see the future, He can see the present, He can see all the way to the end of the age. So that's why God knows best which people can hold leadership and which can't. Hence why, we also find that in this Parsha, Aaron's rod budded fruit, the others didn't. The other people also put their rods down, but they did not bud fruit, but Aaron's rod did. Again proving that his rod blossoming and producing these nuts, that God was gracious and God knew why. Aaron's rod produced almonds, sweet almonds. Okay, almonds signify many things, among, of course, which is also the tree of life. May or may not know, tree of life is believed to be had almonds on it, not apples but almonds. Okay, so but there's different opinions. Some say it might be olive tree, some say it might be wheat, and all sorts of opinions. But anyway, the ones that match the nearest is almond, because the rod that Aaron carried actually came from the tree. Did you know that? It came from that tree. It was passed on from Adam all the way to Adam. Okay, so that's the story. That's the moral of the story, is that not always things look to be rosy. There are challenges in life. We have to go through challenges, and we have to go through trials and tests. And like I said, that for gold to be refined, it has to be tried in fire, and fire cleans it up. It removes any impurities in gold, and then after that, gold can be used wherever. So that's the kind of story about gold. But I wanted to bring another something to your attention, and I thought that was kind of very pertinent, and it's something that I was talking to a friend, and let me see if I can actually find it, then maybe I can talk about it. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. So this is about a longevity, however you want to pronounce the word, long life. Now, Abraham, as you all know, lived to 175 years of age. Very good age, 175 years, beautiful age. And some of our forefathers, that lived in recent times, recent meaning, during or just before Moses' time. Some of them lived to 137 years. As you know, some of them to 110, 120, but nobody lived to 175 as much as Abraham did. Now, people might think, right, and here comes now something of truth, value. Of course, truth is changeable, but this truth cannot be changed because this is what happened, okay? So, let me tell you what happened. We are all given this lie. What is the lie? The lie is this, that, hey, you're going to die at around 70, 80 years. You might be lucky if you make it to 100. That's the lie that you are listening to in the media, in society in general, and everywhere else. So, but I want to tell you something else. I want to tell you that is a lie, that is not true. I know people who have lived and are still alive at 125 years of age. There's a Mexican man who's still alive at 125 years of age. He's a farmer. He farms chickens, and he has a certain diet. I believe his diet is a banana a day and 2 eggs a day. That's his diet, plus, of course, the other food he eats. But that's the main diet he has. And there's other people as well who live to 120 and some 115. But let me tell you of a man in our world, recent history, who not only lived to 120 plus more, but a lot more. He lived to 256 years of age. He was a Chinese Kung Fu master, a herbalist. His name was Li Qing Yuan. Okay? Li Qing Yuan. And listen to this interesting part. He had 23 wives, okay? 200 children. This man lived to 256, 23 wives. He raised more than 200 children. And the man, this is the funny part now. You might think, wow, how is that possible? And yeah, it was possible. This man, even at 256, you will still think he looks like he's about 55, 60 years old. His skin was so good. His skin was so tight. He had no wrinkles on his skin, even at 256. Now, isn't that amazing? So, see the lies? Oh, you only live to 70, 80, maybe you might be lucky to get 100. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. And when this man was asked, and this is recent history, there's a picture of him as well. You might actually want to Google that name I gave you. His name is, I'll give it to you again so you can Google it. His name is Li Qing Yuan. He was a herbalist and he was a Kung Fu master. And we are told about him that this man was born in 1736 in China. And rather, actually, let me see, official records. Official records place this man's birth at 1677. And he was a martial artist, of course, a Kung Fu expert. And this article of his age was published in the New York Times in 1930. Okay, so this is according to official Chinese records that dated back to 1677. And it says that, according to the official records, it says that they congratulate Li Qingyun's 150th birthday. And later documents then dated back to 1877 contained official congratulations on his 200th birthday. So this man lived to 256. What a beautiful, beautiful, ripe age. And he was like a young man. So yes, you can have longevity. You can live long, long life. All of you can live long life. Forget this nonsense about, get ready to die. Listen, I'm going to give you some new things over here. And I want to give you some new things. Number one is that, what did he say? What did this man say about long life? When they asked him, he said, what is the formula for your long life? And he said, retain a calm heart, sit like a turtle, walk swiftly like a pigeon, and sleep like a dog. Now then there's more interesting facts about this history. One of the Chinese army generals, his name was Yang Sen, he invited Li to visit him and offered him an opportunity, offered him a job to teach Chinese soldiers Kung Fu. And so the general could not believe how youthful this man was, even though he was 250 years of age. So today, right, listen, I go abroad, right, I go to Pakistan, I visit other places, we visit the UK, and, I meet people who are 50 years old, 60 years, and they'll be like, I'm getting old, time's ready to die, I'm ready to die now, I'm getting old. At 50, 55, 60, I hear this from stupid comments from people that they are ready to die. And England, of course, the society over there, the way they are geared up and the lies that they are taught, like they'll make you buy life policies. What does buying a life policy mean? And same in America. Buying a life policy means that you are signing your death warrant. You're saying that you want to die early. So guess what? Do not sign a life policy, because you're actually signing up your death. Would you want to sign up your death? Think about it. You are what you believe. Your thoughts are what you become. So Li Yuan, this man Li Yuan, did you know when he died? He died in 1933. Think about it. How young he was in his death. And he told his students that he completed all the tasks in his life and he was now ready to go home. I tell you, this is an absolute amazing story. This is amazing. I really love this story. It's so good. And I know from India, Eastern yogis, the yoga gurus in India, some of those have lived for over 100 years. Now we don't know exactly when they die, because I don't have a record, official record from any Indian government, but the different claims, some say 100, some say 110, 120, 130, but I can tell you this much. Forget about that side. Let me tell you another true story. Pakistan, and there is a Hanza region, which is in Pakistan by the mountains, by these mountains that people go to visit, Mount Everest and those kind of mountains. And so there, right, the Hanza region, I know of people, I have read of people there in Pakistan who have lived to 145 years of age. I have heard of people there who have been working in their fields at 125 years of age. Yeah, working their fields. 130, 145, 155. I have heard of people who have lived as long as 155. Now, those stories circulate in Pakistan. They circulate in the Hanza region. And one of the things I found in the Hanza region, I went there. I wasn't so far from the Hanza. I kind of visited the place, not too far away from it. Didn't quite get to Hanza because, there was some rocks fell and we couldn't go further from a certain point. There was a landslide, but we had to stop. But when I went there and I talked to the locals and I saw what was going on, this is what they do. The Hanza people, right? The Hanza people don't use regular oils like, your vegetable oil, your corn oil. They don't even know what those oils are. They only use one oil, majority of them. And I was absolutely shocked and surprised how they even get oil out of this product. You know which oil they use? You're not going to believe this. They use oil, right, from this akhrot, what do you call this? First of all, they use a lot of plums. When I say plums, and what's the other one? There's plums, and there was two other fruits that they were really into, and it's not the common fruits that you have over here. It was two alternative fruits. There was one fruit. I'm trying to think of the English name. I know the local name for it, but I don't quite remember the English name at this moment. It looks like a peach, and smaller than a plum. So anyway, they use that, and so the oil they used was solely from this nut, right? So, and I was like absolutely astonished. I was like, my goodness, how do they even get oil out of this thing? And they do. They get oil out of that thing, and they just use that. They make these, pancakes. They made flat chapatis. They make their puddings. They make their, vegetables, meat, food that they eat, and in everything they put this oil. And I was like, wow, isn't that amazing? And yet, this oil is available in America, of course. It's probably available in UK as well, but it's very hard to find, because you probably will find that kind of oil only in health food stores. It's not readily available in every supermarket, although some may carry them. But I think it's like almond oil, similar to almond. So imagine you buy almond oil, right, and you get a small amount, and it's so expensive. So they, kind of use oil like that in large amounts, and they produce it locally. And they live next to the mountains, and they live on the hills. They have houses on the hills, and in weird places like on the cliffs. And they have lots and lots and lots of almond trees over there. I have seen a lot of almond trees. They have nuts over there, cashew nuts, other trees, and I'm telling you, it is just totally amazing, right? How these people can survive to a ripe age. I'm not talking about just simple, like 100 years of age and this, that, and this. No, it's 135, 145. That's their normal age. And listen, one of the nuts that you should all be eating. I'm going to give you a tip. You should all be eating this nut every day. Maybe every day 2 to 3 nuts. It's called the Brazilian nut. Okay, readily available here, in most countries. Every country has it. The Brazilian nut. Make sure that you buy it. Make sure you eat at least 2 to 3 a day. It's absolutely excellent nut in reducing cholesterol levels. Great for your heart and great for your arteries. Must eat it. Okay, must eat it. Make that part of your diet. Remember, make it part of your diet, because it is absolutely great to have that. Now, of course, like I said, that I'm still trying to find the name of that oil, and I just don't find it right now. Let me just see if I can do a little scan. I don't know if the internet's going to have that information, but let's see. It wasn't peanut. I know Chinese use a lot of peanut oil, but it wasn't peanut. It was some other nuts. And just before Christmas, you go to Tesco's and Sainsbury's or Walmart and other places here, and and in England, you'll find these nuts are readily available over there, and they are selling them. They're big into those nuts during those particular times. But other times they probably might be hidden away in the shelves, and you don't see them. But if you do get a chance, I would highly recommend for your health. There's no reason. There is absolutely no reason for you people, any of you, to die at less than 100 something. There is just no reason for it. I'm telling you, there's no reason for any of you to pass on to the next world before you're 110, 120 years of age. Maybe more, maybe longer. But you got to look after yourselves. You got to give up the crap that a lot of people eat. these McDonald's and drinking Coke and soda and blah blah blah, all of that rubbish. You got to kind of cut it down a bit. If you like drinking Coke, my brother loves drinking Coke. Oh my goodness, he's always drinking it every day. You've got to drink a glass. Sure, if you like drinking Coke, maybe once a week. Maybe once a week you take your soda, but don't do it every day. It's extremely bad for your health, and it also will knock down your longevity of life. It will knock it down. So why you want to take something that kills you early? Why? You don't want to kill yourself early. There's no reason to. So please, be wise. Do the right thing for yourself, and do not consume products that reduce your life, that can make your arteries hard, that can give you higher levels of cholesterol than needed. Also, it can cause you all sorts of problems during your life. Last week, if you remember, I gave you a remedy for blood pressure, for sleeplessness, for headaches. I told you to ground yourself with a mat or a cotton. You can buy a cotton bed sheet, small bed sheet. You can lie it on the floor. I actually got one. I have it here. It's real nice. It's small. It's not big. You just sit on it. If you sit on your laptop, you just put it on the floor. You sit on it. It's nice and cool, and it attaches to the plug to discharge your body from the earthing, from the high electric voltages that you carry. Now, of course, it's not practical for me to go out there and just be running around on the grass for 30 minutes. It's not practical. I haven't got time for that, but I do have time to sit down here. I can sit over here for 30 minutes, an hour, on my laptop, and put my feet down on that cotton, sheet. I didn't get the plastic one because it might make your feet cold, but the cotton one's real nice. So I would advise you to get the cotton little sheet. It's not very big. It's not huge. You can lie it on your bed as well, but you get that and you will do well. And it's like a cotton type sheet. Okay, so you'll do great with it, and it will be very helpful for you to ground yourself every day. Use it every day. Ground yourself, and it will enhance your life. It will enhance your age. It will enhance your health, and you want to be there. Yeah, you want to be there. That's why I'm highly encouraging you to get that. Okay, get that to enhance your life. It's not expensive. What is $30 for your life? Is $30 more than what is necessary to preserve your life, to give yourself long life? Of course not. $30, $30 you spend more than that on a meal these days. So spend the $30, $32, whatever it is. Start consuming Brazilian nuts. Consume at least 2 to 3 Brazilian nuts every day. They are really good for your long life, for your health, for your other benefits. Not just for things like cholesterol. They have tremendous other benefits. So, please use those, and they will definitely benefit you, and they will add longevity to your days. And you don't just want longevity. You want healthy life. Healthy life is what's going to sustain you, keep you happy, keep you going, and you want to be there. In the world of nuts, cashew nuts are great, Brazilian nuts are good, chestnuts are good, and there's loads of varieties of nuts. I don't need to tell you. Macadamia nuts, they're all great. And notice how very few people I've known that eat nuts regularly. Very few people I know that do that. Okay, so peanuts are very good for you as well. Pecans in America, people love pecans over here, and they eat them. They're very good. They are native tree to North America, and then we kind of have a benefit of that over here. They're not as expensive as some of the others. So I highly encourage you. Oh yeah, the oil that I was going to tell you, the oil. I know now. The oil they made, the Hansa people, that comes from walnuts. Can you imagine? walnut producing an oil that they use in everything. They're cooking, they put it on their skin, and that's what gives them long life. Walnut. So eat walnuts, okay? Walnuts are, remember, it's shaped like a brain. It's very, very good for your brain. Not just for the brain, it actually has tremendous benefits. Walnut has tremendous benefits, but I'm just saying to you that it doesn't just look like a brain, it actually has many benefits. It's very rich in nutrients. It can help your gut and heart health. It can reduce blood pressure. It can benefit your brain health. It protects you against cancer. It protects you against getting heavier. Most of the people that I saw over there are skinny, sticky skin. They're like skinny people. For men, walnuts can improve your sperm vitality. So really, really good. And like I said to you about the Brazil nuts, the Brazil nut, as I was saying to you, is extremely, extremely beneficial. And like I said, I gave you one source, and Brazilian nut has got a very good source of selenium. Selenium is excellent. It's like a supplement that our brain needs. It's a mineral, and it helps fight free radicals, and it soothes areas of the body that are inflamed. So it's very good for inflammation. Okay. Also note that the grounding thing I gave is also very good for inflammation of the body. So it can reduce your inflammation. So selenium, and on top of that, it has extremely important for heart health. A lot of people suffer from heart issues. Well, guess what? 2 to 3 Brazilian nuts a day will keep the doctor away. Okay? So eat those. It's very good for mood, for lifting your mood up. It's excellent for skin care. It will, make your skin good. It removes acne from your face. Very, very good with that. It's got high amounts of protein in the nut. So each nut that you take, and you might want to actually, crush it and use it maybe in a smoothie or something, or make a drink out of it. Add a little milk powder, and don't consume too much natural milk, because milk is very high protein. So if you do consume milk, consume smaller amounts. Maybe we're talking about cups rather than bottles every day. And then it's really good for the immune system. It boosts your immune system. It helps improve muscle function, because as you grow in age, your muscles can become weaker. This will help improve it. It will improve your growth and repair your body. The minerals and the vitamins in there. It's got collagen, and collagen, remember, is very good for longevity, and it will repair blood vessels, bone tissues, and cells. So if you have broken bones, eating this kind of nut, Brazilian nut, is very good to heal bones. Okay, you're not going to find this kind of information from other rabbis, by the way. It's very high in magnesium levels and zinc. And as you know, that in recent history, when COVID virus was around, COVID-19, that two of the things that the Americans were short in. Two of the things that most Americans had shortage of was zinc and magnesium, and those two is what caused a lot of people to get the virus. Okay, if you had those two things, if you remember when we had the virus, I told people to top up in zinc and magnesium. If you were taking zinc and magnesium supplements, your chances of getting the virus will be extremely low. But if you did not, your chances of getting the virus were extremely high. So yeah. Walnut oil. Well, imagine how much the walnut oil is. I think it's going to be pretty expensive. So coming back to the longevity question, and the man who lived long, Mr. Lee Yuan, now Chinese currency is called yuan as well. And so it is also important to note that what did the man mention? The man mentioned, he said that a calm heart, retaining a calm heart. He said, sit like a turtle. Well, what do you mean sit like a turtle? Well, a turtle sits on all 4 feet. I guess you could sit in lotus. And sit like a turtle means that a turtle has extremely long age. Turtles are known to live 156 years of age. And turtles walk very slow. We notice how slow they walk, but they live a long, long time. Turtles are very calm. So very calm creatures. So retain a calm heart. Retain a calm heart means retain a calm, steady imagination. Okay? A calm imagination. The more your heart is racing, the more you're worried, the more you're tense. Most people in the Western world get a heart attack from having high stress levels. So, your high stress levels can kill you. So you want to remember that. Be very calm, be very collective, and sit like a turtle, walk swiftly like a pigeon, and sleep like a dog. Means get plenty of sleep. Whenever you can, get plenty of sleep. I'm not saying that you have to sleep every day for 10 hours, but I'm saying that, maybe you're somebody who only gets, I used to only get 5 hours of sleep, right? In the old days. When I was working, I only got 5 hours of sleep. And I still work, of course, but different work now than before. But now my point is this, that I sometimes get even 4 hours of sleep, even now, sometimes 3 hours. But then what I do is I make it up. I sleep longer on a Sunday. Like I might say, to my wife, hey, don't disturb me today. I'm going to sleep. I'm not going to wake up for 10 hours. In other words, I get a good 10 hours sleep on Sunday. And maybe, if I had a day off, definitely I'll probably sleep 10 hours. So whenever you can, get those longer rests. And if during the week you sleep less, no problem. It's okay. So live, an active life. Make use of your brain. When he says calm heart, remember heart in the Bible is also an acronym for your imagination. 70% of all illnesses, according to Mr. UN, was materialized because of negative emotions, negative thoughts. A lot of you running around with negative thoughts. Your negative thoughts are what's going to create the illness and then what's going to subsequently kill you. So do not allow, sure, we as human beings do have negative thoughts, but control them. Control your negative thoughts. Try to be observant of your thoughts. Whenever you find you're getting a negative thought, turn it around. I was talking to somebody about fear today, and I said, people fear, right? What will happen to me? What shall I do? And I gave a very interesting example. I gave an example of this. Remember when the Israelites came out, what fear did they have? That they will die in the desert. They had this fear that they will die in the desert. And what happened? The first generation, -2 people, they all died in the desert. Because they had that fear, and the fear manifested. Whatever you fear will manifest. Now, in England, as I know from past, is that usually spouses, husband, wife, a husband might be cheating on his wife, maybe he's flirting with some girl in the office, maybe something else, and he'll be fearing, oh, I hope my wife don't find out, I hope Catchy doesn't find out that I'm dating Jane. And so they're doing all of that, right? And then, he's flirting with somebody, and he's fearing that his wife will find out, and guess what happens? Wife finds out. When the wife finds out, then he gets a divorce. So the fear is what brought that on, the manifestation. So I was like talking to somebody today, and I said to them, well, why not use fear in a positive way? I said, how you use fear in a positive way? You say, what would I do if I win that, big lottery jackpot? What am I going to do with the big jackpot? Where am I going to spend the money first? You kind of fear on it. You use it in a positive way. You say, what am I going to do when I win that money? What am I going to do when I have that $100 million, $200 million? What am I going to do? Where am I going to spend it? What would I go and buy first? You kind of worry over that. That's good worry. So there's a good worry and there's a wrong worry. So worry over good things. Fear over good things. What's a good fear? Well, what will I do if I have a $300 million jackpot or a $500 million jackpot? What would I do with it? Where would I spend it? What kind of home would I be buying? Now that's a healthy fear. Okay? Stick to the healthy fear, and you won't go wrong. So stick to healthy fear. Remember, the Bible, the Torah mentions things like jealousy, revengefulness. It also mentions lying. It mentions aggressiveness. It mentions that, trying to resolve conflicts with peace. All of these things are examples that come from your negative emotions. Your negative emotions create these problems. So please, think about it. Let me tell you what the Chinese thought. This might be interesting for you to listen. Chinese thought that things like jealousy, they caused weakness of the immune system. Vengefulness, they caused you sleepless nights and throat diseases. Inability to find a solution to a problem, they caused you lung diseases. Lacking moral principles caused chronic diseases like infections and skin diseases. Unwavering in belief systems caused diabetes, migraines, and inflammations. Lying caused alcoholism. Lying also caused fungal infections, and it weakened the immune system. I know somebody, by the way, in America who lies a lot, and guess what? They have fungal infection. Yeah, so the Chinese are right. And aggressiveness caused gastric ulcers, acid reflux, and warts. I know somebody in England, by the way, a woman, very aggressive with her husband, caused a lot of problems and fights, eventually took a divorce, and I know she had a huge problem with warts. Actually, she came to me one time for a cure. Now, retinence causes schizophrenia and kidney diseases. Cruelty to other people, cruelty causes epilepsy, asthma, and anemia. If somebody is looking for fights, conflicts, it can cause your thyroid to enlarge. Apathy can cause diabetes. Inconsistency or being fickle-minded causes infertility. Being rude or insulting to other people can cause diabetes and heart disease. Anxiety, constant anxiety, can cause digestive system disorders like heart and skin diseases. Greed, listen to this, greed, right, can cause oncological diseases like obesity and heart disease. So, interesting, isn't it? How many diseases come out of these emotions that are common in human beings. How many different diseases come out of them? So try to be calm, keep a calm heart, use your imagination the right way. Use it the right way and you will do good. And by all means, I want all of you listening to have a longevity of life. Long, healthy, prosperous, abundant life. That's what belongs to you. That's what you're born for. Now it's up to you whether you exercise your right and do that, or whether you're just going to, waste it away on frivolous things. So please, with that, I'm going to say, with the Parsha, remember the Israelites, remember these people that came up against Moses. They were whining, they were complaining, they were, accusing Moses and Aaron. And what was their result? The result was that they all died. The ones that did that, they all died. They perished. And what about the ones that accused God? The ones that accused God of bringing them out from Egypt and wanting to kill them. What happened to them? They all perished as well. Why? Because they had the wrong emotion. They had the wrong response to God. Instead of being grateful, instead of being thankful, they were like aggressive. They were like accusatory. And so God let them perish in the wilderness and allowed their next generation to go into the land. So please be aware of these things. I wish you all well. Those of you who have listened this far, I wish you all prosperity, abundance, and great health. And with that, I'm going to say Shabbat Shalom to you and Shalom Shalom.